We're all just trying to figure it out. And we just need to find a way to, okay, what is it that I need right now? And I had to first know what it is. Ask myself that question. What does the definition of success look like for me?
I have to be very confident in myself, and I have to be very sure of myself. And like, you know, with that, I have always been like, you know what? I have so much to give.
Trying to be an entrepreneur, whatever it is that you're trying to go for, the harder that it gets, the more that we want from people validating of what we're doing. Because it's so hard. It's like, this is so hard. Can someone tell me I'm doing it right?
It is hard to find somewhere or someone or something to be able to give you all that you need and let you fly in the way that you need to fly.
I have to do this because it's my business and all these other things. But when you switch that with I have to, with I get to, it changes everything.
If you don't believe in yourself, why should somebody else?
Welcome everybody to the Rally Cry podcast. I am your host Angel, and you guys are here because you want to learn, you want to grow, and you just want to become a better version of yourself. And today I am so excited, and it's also the first time not having Tyler here for having a guest on the show. We have a guest, and I always like having an introduction, so I always like to write it out because I think it's a little bit formal until one day I'm really good at it. So our guest today is someone that is big on leadership and empowering women to become stronger, bolder, and more brave. All about bringing people together and giving everyone the chance to be a part of something bigger. She has been nominated on Business West 40 Under 40 this year and is also a board member of Girls Inc. She has so many other things, but thank you, Nikai Fondon, for being here today.
Yeah, thank you.
Yay! I'm so excited. I know we had a couple of times where we briefly talked, and then we also met at the cafe, and we're just trying to get to know one another.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for you to be here today, so everybody that's listening is able to get to know who you are, what you're about.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, and then this is your first time on a...
This is my first time being on a podcast. Like, interviewer becomes interviewee, and that's crazy.
I love it. I love it. Yay.
Thank you for being my first.
Yeah, well, thank you for being here. So I know breaking the ice on that.
Yes.
I want to break the ice on our conversation. So let's start with our communication card game. Enough said. I know you've played it a couple of times, especially at the YPS event. That was a great event, by the way. Guys, if you wasn't there, we have a witness.
Yes, it was great. It was great.
Yeah.
And it was so engaging. People loved answering the questions. It was a great icebreaker. So I feel like it can work for all settings. And
I love it.
I am a testament to that.
A testament to that, yeah. I love it. All right, so we're going to play. We're going to pick a card. I'll have you pick a card. And if anything, you answer, then I'll answer.
Okay.
So I'm going to just shuffle it, and then I'll have you pick one.
Go for it. Okay. This one. Ooh, that's a good one.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Ooh.
If you could overcome any fear, what would it be and how would you do it? That's crazy.
All right, since you've read it, I got to answer.
Answer it.
Answer it now.
Yes.
If I had to overcome a fear, honestly, one fear that I do have is swimming. Because when I was younger, I drowned, and ever since then, I'd be just so scared to swim. Can I swim to save my life? Yes. Can I swim to save someone else's life? No. So I think to overcome that, I actually been telling myself I want to be able to do swimming lessons and like professionally swim and make it into a sport, but I just got to make time for that.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real.
Enough said.
Real. Right. Enough said. Hello, do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about you?
For me, I feel like I think I have a not at all, but I do think that I have this lingering fear of success. And I say that because I think that, I can envision myself being successul, but sometimes I'm just like, whoa, what does that mean for myself? Like, what does that look like? Like, you almost like paralyzed by what that means. And I think that what I've been working through is really saying like, yeah, no, you can get there. It's actually absolutely wonderful. That means that you just have to shed who you are right now. Like, some of those bad habits, some of those things that you really want to work through. Once you shed those things, you'll actually be there. And you'll be in a better place because you made that change. And getting out of your comfort zone, is like little by little, is what helps you get there and like overcome that fear of success, or whatever your fear is. But that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm going to try to do. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone bit by bit.
Yeah, enough said. I love that. No, that's so true. I think when it comes to someone trying to be successful, I think the first question, like you asked yourself, is what does that look like? Because success could be in so many various of ways. And most of the time, people think someone being successful is having money.
Yes.
And that's not true. It's usually the proof of being successful, but doesn't mean you are successful. You could have all the money in the world, but have no success, right? In the heart, success in the mind, because it's all mindset.
Exactly. Yeah, and for me, like, I consider myself successful, but I also think that to the next level of success, what does that look like for me? Like, it's just like, okay, you can acknowledge that you're here, right? But just to get there, come on now, don't hold yourself back. Think bigger, dream bigger, all of those things. So, that's it.
Yeah. I love that you say that, because I think a lot of our listeners and just people in general struggle with how to be successful. And especially women, right? That's one of the things that that you are here about, like empowering women and then the youth and all these other things. What is something that you would give the definition to someone to define what success is?
Oh, honestly, I feel like success is what you make it. And I don't think that it's a one-size-fit-all for anyone. I know that for me, I feel like success looks like in the form of being able to be consistent, being ambitious, still having inspiration and motivation to keep going, and also just independence and whatever that means. Being able, and longevity, I think, and that's literally within everything, within health, within career path, all of those different realms, because honestly, those are the things that I want to maintain, is having some sort of longevity, having some sort of consistency, because I know that if I'm consistent, things will work out, financially, however it may be. I think that's just how I envision success being, but that's just personally for me. And success, like, for, a young girl could just be, I'm literally like, going to school and I'm acing my classes. I am going to get in the college that I want to get into. If anything, I'm getting into college. Whatever your version of success is, you smash that and you do it. And that's why, like, I think that a lot of our, like, society these days are looking at, predetermined versions of success and then getting down on themselves because they're not matching what somebody else set up for success rather than their own version of success. So I'd rather people be tuned into that.
Yeah, no, it just sounds as if a lot of times we look up to certain people that is successful, and we think if we're not doing that exactly, then we're not successful. And it sounds as if what you say is more of the level to what you see it as, right? Yes. So if I have a goal and I gave myself a goal, that is the success part that I'm trying to get to. So if I can at least be consistent towards that, that is what makes me successful, right? And then once I reach that goal, then I am a success. Because I think there's a process and then there's the end goal. But then after that, we already know there's always another thing and another. But I think what happens is that for someone wanting to feel successful or someone wanting to be empowered or be a leader or anything along those means, we all want that, but don't know how to do that. And one thing you did say was motivation or inspiration. Is there someone or anything that motivated you to be successful and do all the things that you've been doing?
Oh, absolutely. Like, first is my mother and my father. They have always, been my main source of motivation in the way that they were able to chart their own path and be able to build their success that way, build their notoriety that way. They owned a magazine / newspaper locally and nationally.
Nice.
Called Unity First, and then it turned into an online newswire, which was awesome. And like, you know,
Nice.
they still do it to this day, but that was how they were able to provide for my family, is entrepreneurship. And, you know, through their entrepreneurship, they were able to affect the community in so many ways and providing so many opportunities to people. And I would love to do that too. And just being able to see the lives that they touch, I just want to have a piece of that pie too, and be able to touch lives and being able to provide resources, connections, a platform to be able to have them grow and our community grow.
Right.
So, like, they're the main source. They have always kept me going. They've been there, done that, and they keep me grounded as I keep going. So they're
I love
the main
that.
source. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the way that you had that experience with mom and dad, you know, you could have went in so many ways, right? You could have went to school and been more of a 9-to-5 kind of job, but you're a board member at Girls Inc. I know you have hosted a podcast, and you got a lot of things going on, and I love it. Yeah.
And that's the thing that, like, you know, I think my mom, she was very much so, like, you know, everywhere doing everything. And honestly, when I graduated from college, that was my main gig. That's what really got me out there was being a 9-to-5 girl. But I was in the community. I was doing nonprofit work. Like, I was working for the community foundation, and then I moved on to the women's fund, or at least I was doing that at the same time, working with young women in the area. And that was great. And I switched a couple industries, strengthened my skills. I'm all over the place today.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But, like, you know, really just charting my own path and getting in where I fit in, volunteering, and really just putting my foot out there in the community and meeting a whole bunch of people. And once I was able to get to a certain place, I decided that I was going to step out on my own. And that was just very recently. And now I am the CEO and founder of Evolve Her Enterprises, which we do marketing and consulting.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. That was exactly what I was talking about.
Yes.
That you posted on LinkedIn saying that you got that.
Yeah. That is my business, and that is what I'm running. And
I love it.
It's been an amazing journey of helping my clients be able to reach out to their audiences and, you know, really just get them back on track with their marketing.
Right.
And, of course, expanding to more, like, you know, work in the community.
Right.
Through helping support women entrepreneurs and, you know, 9-to-5 women. Just at every stage of a woman's life, there is something that I'm hoping to provide her, because I think that all of us need a little bit more support. Right. And in this area, we definitely need as many resources as possible,
right,
to be able to make sure that we're able to, like, you know, thrive in this community.
True.
And, you know, bring our best selves, because when we're able to bring our best selves, that means our children, our spouses, our friends, family, everyone gets a piece of the pie, and we all get inspired to be able to be our best selves. So that's what I'm hoping to do.
Yeah. I love that so much. And I think, you know, marketing itself, right? We may look at it as it's just business, right? And blue collared, and it's just straight to the bare bone. But it's so much bigger than that. It's about community. It's about bringing people together, because when you know how to market yourself or market a product, or if it's a service, then you're able to provide for other people. It's a resource. So it's crazy how there's a lot of people that don't understand that. And everybody that is listening, I want you to understand that community is what makes everybody whole, right? Because everybody has something that they're going through, right? We got our own personal lives, and we don't know what we're doing. We're trying to figure it out, right? I'm 25, and there's people that are older, there's people that are younger, but at the end of the day, we're all just trying to figure it out. And we just need to find a way to, okay, what is it that I need right now? And I had to first know what it is. Ask myself that question. What does the definition of success look like for me? And once I understand that, then I could be like, okay, then what is that resource that I need? Do I need help marketing? Do I need help financially? Do I need help someone just to be there? Because I just need some moral support. That's it, right? So I think when it comes to community and then also volunteering and all these things, was there a moment in your life that made you want to do that, right? Because you could have went anywhere else. You don't even need to make a business or nothing like that, right? So what made you want to make a business or get into marketing, and why include people? Why is your mindset like that?
I think it was a matter of circumstances. And I think that, I mean, when I was in college and I was graduating, of course, people were getting jobs at the top firms and going to New York and DC and doing all of the things. And, like, that was a huge push in my school to make sure that everyone was hitting those, like, very prominent roles. And, of course, you want to make as much money as you can,
yeah, right.
Coming out of business school, because that's what they teach you and all of the things. And I was hoping that when I graduated that I would be one of those people. And, I think that was just not my path. And I ended up working for some nonprofits, of course, the Community Foundation and such. And I think that's where I first learned of the impact of where a dollar lands and, where the real assistance helps. Like, of course, working with these organizations that are top tier and different firms and things like that, that's a really cool opportunity to have. But I thought that it was an even cooler opportunity to be able to give back to our community and really, set forth our communities in a way that they can be able to thrive. So I just saw, the need that was there, and I saw, the people who were willing to assist, and I wanted to have some type of role in that. Now, my career as it stands, I've had a lot of ups and downs, and I've had a lot of different jobs. And I think that when you come into a place, and like I said, I feel like I have to be very confident in myself, and I have to be very sure of myself. And with that, I have always been like, you know what, I have so much to give, and I feel like I have a lot of different skills. And within that, it was very hard to find a position, and it was very hard to find the, structure or the mentorship that would actually give me that through the workforce.
Right.
And I decided that, after a few trial runs with that, really hoping that, there would be that opportunity to be poured into as much as I needed to be to kind of get where I was going, even though one of my previous employers just called me, she called me a unicorn, because she felt like, she's just like, you have so many talents and you have so many things that you can offer, but it is hard to find somewhere or someone or something to be able to give you all that you need and let you fly in the way that you need to fly. So I was like, okay, well then, I'm going to build it. And I think that's what I've always done throughout, my time, is that if it wasn't the position, I would always get another position. Or if it wasn't, I guess, again, the position, I would create the opportunity myself, podcasts, speaking opportunities, things like that, to kind of give me my fill of being able to feel whole. So when I got the chance, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to be that person who's going to give me all that I need, and I'm going to do all of it all of the time, not feeling like I have to supplement and make myself full through just having that mainstay opportunity and trying to find myself on the side. Now's the time to be able to push forward and really pour into myself, give myself the skills that I gain, that I wish to gain, and have the impact in the community fully that I want to have, and also find myself and I don't know, just gain some confidence and gain some wherewithal in the process. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. That's amazing. I think everything that you've been saying, it just sounds as if, even though this may happen to me, that's not going to stop me. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep being resilient, because there's always a reason. There's always something to learn from. And why am I going to let anything hold me down because someone else got it? Oh, you went to New York, or you went to California, Washington, whatever you want to call it. Okay, that's cool. I would have loved to be there, but maybe there's something better for me out there. And you always gave yourself an opportunity for that. Rather than waiting for it to come to you, it sounds as if you was like, okay, well, if it's not going to come to me, then I'm going to go to it.
Honestly. And that's what I always preach when it comes to talking to young women about their careers and how to set themselves up with a beautiful strategy to create and to be able to be who they want to be. a lot of women, especially women of color, have to rely on entrepreneurship to really scale and to really make the impact on their own lives, but also in the communities that they really want. And the thing is that you can't, you can wait, but you might be waiting forever. Right. Because there are a lot of people, people are going to be people, and they're going to be people who aren't going to pour into you, who aren't going to support you in the way that you need to actually get to the next level. People see your shine and they might want to dim it. And like, not saying that was something that happened to me, but I've seen it happen to others. And the thing is that you have to watch out, just like the energies that you watch out for friends and family and strangers and how people want to act around you. You have to do that in the workplace as well, because you are your best asset. It's your life. You're running it, and you want to feel fulfilled. You want to be happy. You want to be able to be challenged. So you have to be able to find your center and create your experience, whether that's inside the workforce, outside, a mixture of both. You have full autonomy to do that. And I think that when you're coming into the workforce for the first time, you're thinking like, oh, it's just like college. My advisors and my parents, my friends, whoever, they're all going to be rooting for me to win. And they're all going to like get me to where I want to get to. Yeah. But no, not everyone is like that. And not only that, they don't have to be that way. So, oh my God, you are your best advocate. You are your best supporter, and you are your best mentor sometimes as well.
I love that you say that, because shout outs to Mike Conley. One of the things he always says is long, boring work, LBW. Mm-hmm. And to be successful in any way, right? Even if it's working for someone, if it's working for yourself, whatever it is, it still comes with the fact that a lot of the success that you do get comes with doing it yourself. I think it comes with the fact that people have expectations on how people should be treated when they're being successful, or they're in the journey of being successful. And I can even be one of those people, right? I think as much as the podcast has been going, it's been about 2 years now, give or take, and then making a communication card game and just trying to have some events to, speak in front of people and all these things. Throughout that process, though, I wish I had it more love towards that. Like, oh my God, Angel, you're doing so good. And I've had these moments. I have people that say that, I'm well-spoken and all these things. But for some reason, the little bit that I did get almost didn't feel like it was enough. And when the more that being successful or trying to be an entrepreneur or whatever it is that you're trying to go for, the harder that it gets, the more that we want from people validating of what we're doing. Because it's so hard. It's like, this is so hard. Can someone tell me I'm doing it right? It is crazy.
I feel you 100%. And I went through that phase so much, especially when I started in the pandemic, and I started the podcast. And there were so many things. At that point, I had been working in the field for about 3 years, and I had done so much, and so much so that I felt like I was always the youngest in the room. I was always pioneering something, having some great idea of doing all the things. And exactly what you said, the harder you work, it's just like you're really looking for that validation. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you have to just be content with just kind of living in your own echo chamber, because expecting that is really hard. Because I think that, and that's the whole reason why I started my podcast, because I think that people don't give their flowers to people who start. They don't give the opportunities to people who are new very often. But that's the thing, is that most young entrepreneurs, and just young people in general, young leaders, that is where they start. So that is where the opportunity needs to be. That is where all of the effort needs to go. That's where all the flowers need to go, because so many people get caught up in that, nobody's listening to me, nobody's buying from me, nobody's asking me to participate in these things. And they get discouraged, and then they stop. And that is not what we need. We need more people to start their ideas. We need more people to be handing them opportunities to do things. And that's why I believe in setting people up with those opportunities. Let the talent match the opportunity, or the amount of opportunities match the talent. And when you see that, you offer that. And I think that if people had that mindset more often, we would have more businesses that actually last. You would have more people who feel fulfilled in the careers that they're choosing for themselves. And that is just, I feel you 100%. And that is the main reason, another reason why I started the business that I did, because I want more opportunity to match the level of talent that we have in this area and across the country, because it's lacking sometimes. And
Right.
I've been a result of that. As you've said, you're experiencing that as well. And a lot more people are experiencing that. And that's why we need to address that and make that something different.
Yeah, and that's why I love having a conversation like this, so that everybody that is listening can hear that success is not easy.
No.
And it you don't want it to be easy, to be honest, because when you do something that is hard and you do it, you'd be like, wow, I'm so glad that I was able to do that, or I gave myself the opportunity, right? Because so many times we wake up or we're doing something, we say, oh, I have to do this because it's my business and all these other things. But when you switch that with I have to, with I get to, it changes everything. I get the opportunity to make a podcast. I get an opportunity to make a clothing business, or set up a coffee shop, or if it's an ice cream shop, or anything it is that you want. If it's marketing, anything. But the first part is not trying to have that validation from other people. Is it great? Absolutely. Do you need it? Maybe a little bit. But the biggest part is believing in yourself. And believing goes into having faith into yourself, because you have to have faith into what you're believing. Yeah. Because faith is understanding. So to be successful and all these other things that you want to go for, whatever the goals are, you have to understand what is it? What is it? Like, do I have to ask for help? Do I have to put it on Facebook? Do I have to go on Instagram? Should I reach out to a friend, right? Do I need to go downtown in Springfield and just ask around? I don't know who might give me the resource, but I have to just try.
You have to try.
Just try.
You have to believe in yourself. You have to put yourself out there in a million different ways. Because the thing is that if you don't believe in yourself, why should somebody else? Okay?
Yes.
Yes. They're going to be like, I don't know. They're not feeling themselves like,
yeah.
There's a sense that people get from you before you step in the room. And it's actually crazy, because yesterday I was just getting a smoothie, and, I saw some woman from the community, and she was just like, oh my gosh, let me see. What are you doing? What are you up to these days? And we sat down and we chatted, and I was just telling her about, starting the business and having all of these great things happening this year. And she was just like, well, you have to believe in yourself. You have to go in there and act like you own the place, because that is how you're able to keep yourself calm in those situations, but also be able to convey to the people your worth. Know your worth and communicate that worth so that it can be returned back to you in the way that you get compensated. And I just had to listen and soak it in, because there were so many moments yesterday, even listening. I listen to podcasts every morning, and, I was just listening to another, one of those podcasts where she was talking about limiting beliefs and, how limiting beliefs stop you from believing yourself fully. And then, of course, limit your opportunities, because you're not attacking them the way that you need to. You're not, going forth and putting yourself out there in the way that you need to. You're not showing up for yourself in the way that you need to be able to make something shake for yourself.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, so you have to believe in yourself. You have to give yourself your kudos, your pat on the back to keep going, because that is how you're going to show up, and that's how you're going to make something change and make something impactful for yourself.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think a lot of times people are so conflicted on the outcome, and they're worried about, oh, but what if this happens, or what if this happens? Well, you have to ask yourself, okay, even if it does happen, that means I passed the first step then. Yep. Right? If something else happens bad, that means I did the first step. If that's starting a business, getting an LLC, or if it's going downtown, being in public, whatever it is, if I ran into a problem, that means that's because I made a decision. And I actually just posted that on Facebook. If you're not making any mistakes, then you're not making any decisions. And every decision that you make is not necessarily going to be a mistake, but it gives you an opportunity how to make it better. Right. So don't look at a mistake as, oh, I messed up and I can't get better from this. Look at it as, oh, well, I made a decision. Now this mistake is now telling me that I can make this decision better. Right. Rather than saying it's a mistake, we look at it as it's holding us back from something. Well, actually, it's a wall that you can climb over. Exactly. And when you climb over a wall, you get a better view than what you was when you was down below. Right? It's all perspective.
Exactly. It's all perspective. And as soon as you said that, it made me think of my art teacher who literally, whenever we would be like drawing or we would be painting and we were like, oh my gosh, we made a mistake. Like, oh, I didn't want that. She'd be like, okay, well then you just keep on brushing. You make it into something. You build the art piece still. You still make it, and it will become something that you'll be proud of. Right. As long as you keep on working through it and reimagining and doing things. And that's what I think that people have to always keep their eye on the prize about, is that it's not about the singular stroke. It's not the singular paint stroke. It is about the masterpiece that's going to happen at the end. And honestly, all of your mistakes are going to help you become better and help you become that masterpiece. Yeah. So, I mean, if you had no mistakes, what is that like? Right. What artist doesn't have a mistake? What, canvas doesn't have a small mistake? That is True. But the thing is that when people are looking at it, they're not looking at that for the mistakes. They're looking at it for the feeling that you get from it, the beauty that comes from it. And that is you. That is your project. That is the thing that you're pouring into. So we can't get caught up on the mistakes at all.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it reminds me of a mistake is just as similar as an accident, right? Because when a mistake happens, we didn't do it on purpose. I didn't want to mess up, right? So if you could probably change, if you want, mistake into an accident, then you can look at, okay, if this is an accident, not only can I do better so this don't happen again, but what can I pull from this to make it look better, right? When you were saying the paint, it was making me think of, right, a branch falling from the tree, right? We look at it and it's just a branch, but the more branches that fall, I could build a house, right? And you might look, oh, that's a mistake, or, oh, that happened by accident. Oh, yeah, if it happened by accident, now you could make something more than that. That's an extension of having an opportunity to do something that is better than you ever thought, right? Things happen better than you can ever imagine, right? For me, perfect example, I can say that me doing the podcast was on accident. I didn't plan for this. Absolutely not, right? Of course, after I had the idea, I had to improvise and I had to understand what it takes to do that and all these other things. But a lot of the times when people are successful, and I'm sure you could say yourself, you didn't really expect to be exactly where you are. Are you grateful? Yeah. Yes. But it wasn't something where you was 5 years old, 6 years old, or however young, and you was like, yeah, I know exactly where I'm going to be. It kind of happens in the way that it does. And then once you get there, you'll be like, wow. Yeah. Look at me.
No, absolutely. Because honestly, no, I was not expecting to be in the place that I am right now. In fact, I feel like this year particularly has been a whirlwind of things. And, specifically in my career, the catalyst for me starting a new business was actually from a layoff. And that is, like I said, I had a career full of ups and downs. And one of the downs was the fact that, I was doing a job where I loved doing career or community work and working with organizations and small businesses to help them achieve their goals. And that whole department was eliminated. And unfortunately I was like, okay, so what now? And that could have been something that just broke me, because that was the first time I ever experienced that. But no, it set me up. I was like, no, this is what was supposed to happen. Because clearly that was what was burning all within all of this time, that you were meant to be in an entrepreneurial space and you were meant to do this on your own, to step out and be your own boss, and to be able to do the work that you fully wanted to do with all of the connections that you've built thus far, with all of the skills that you've built this far. There is so much opportunity for you to just be the girl that you've always dreamed of. But I had to really condition my mind to accept that as this is something to be grateful for.
Right.
This is something to take heed of. Like, this is something that you should, like, go in full throttle, because you have no barriers, no boundaries.
Yeah.
Go for it. And
why not?
Why not? Go in, go do your thing, and don't be scared of that, and be proud of that, because not everyone has that opportunity to go and do that, and if you do, don't waste it.
Right.
So those are the phrases that I'm always repeating to myself, that this is something to be grateful for, not something to take pity on yourself for.
Right. I think a lot of times we can so happen to be so hard on ourselves that we keep hitting after another thing and then another. I made a mistake, or I'm just too scared, or it's too much work, or maybe not right now. I'm just so busy, or I'm just so burnt out. It's just one thing after another. Right. And you're basically going on a rampage of unappreciation, because you're not appreciating that maybe all the things you do have is a good thing, right? Maybe it is a good thing that you're busy. Maybe it is a good thing that you have these things that are going on in your life, right? But now it's about having them organized, right? I think, me personally, right, I think it was the burnout thing for me. I think when we get more successful, we then run into burnout. And I wanted to ask you, how does burnout look for you? Have you been through burnout, and how do you manage burnout?
Burnout was messy. Okay?
Messy. Not messy, messy.
It was messy. It was not cute. Okay? Burnout is not a good thing for me, personally.
Yeah. No, me too. I don't think it is for anybody, to be honest.
For anybody.
Yeah.
Because for me, what it looked like was, just lack of self-care, increased health issues, of course, like, it affects your romantic relationships. It affects your, relationship with your friends. You can't show up for them the way that you need to. It was, just trying to keep adulting at, in balance with everything else.
Yeah.
And that was just the hardest thing. In fact, that was probably my biggest hurdle coming out of college. And I don't think that people really talk about that as much, is, you are thrust into this new level of, responsibility, and for yourself, for your circumstances, and for the people around you. And that is really tough, because there are a million things that they say that you have to be successful and whole in your life. And that's okay, so you gotta be healthy. You have to be constantly working so that you're leveling up your money, and you have to know how to manage your money. You have to do all of these things. You have to keep your house clean, and you have to cook on the daily and do all of these things. Oh my God, yeah. And it's just like, these aren't the same hours that Beyonce got. You can't tell me that these are the same 24 hours.
Yeah, right.
They are going like that.
It really does, though.
It does. Yeah. And trying to manage your time and trying to fit in everything, it leads to burnout, because again, you're trying to strive for a level of success that doesn't make sense probably for you at that moment. Yes. And for me, it was really just hard to keep up with the Joneses, because I just wanted to travel all the time. I wanted to do all of the things. And for me, I think that it was warping my idea of my own self-worth. And because it was just like, I'm trying so hard, I'm working so hard, why is it not working out for me? Why are these things, why does it just seem so much harder than it's supposed to be? I had so many intrusive thoughts. And I think that coming out of that, and also I think just getting a little bit older, and realizing what I really need from everything really helps me prioritize. And now I'm finally saying that I feel like I have so much more balance and a lot more happiness, and I'm free to be able to be present for whatever is needed from me in the moment. And I think that 22-year-old me would have been like, oh, what? You finally got it? Because we've been waiting. Because
right?
It's hard. It's definitely hard. And if you haven't been taught before, it's hard.
It's harder.
It's harder.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think the balance part is everything, right? And balance is, and I think it's important to talk about, being successful, and then it's about community, right? Because to be successful is within the community, but then still understanding you got to do a little bit of yourself. And then now we're talking about, okay, well, all that's balance, right? Because you could be successful, you could have a community, and it's good to have a good mindset of always like, you're on a drive, you're just tunnel vision. Great. Right. It's cool. But then after a while, you need to park and get some gas, because all the drive that you have in the world, you still need that gas so that you could go to A and B and then C, D, E, F, G, So I think being able to have balance is hanging out with friends and hanging out with your loved ones, significant other, if it's family, and then also yourself, right? Just hang out with yourself, not in a productive way, but in a way where you just sit down and play games, or if it's, going out, whatever it is that you like doing, you find that for yourself, because you can learn a lot about a business, and that it could be a part of you, but it's not you, right? You are you who you are. And let's say if you lost everything, right? Your business or whatever it is, you don't want that to define you. What you want to define you is the person that you are, not the person that did these things, right? Because sometimes we hear people that are successful, like football players, basketball players, and any kind of person that is in the sports industry, or even if it's doing television and they're actors, they lose something, and to what they were doing as a title, they lose themselves, and they had to re-identify themselves and all this stuff. That's why it's good, and we were already talking about it. It's your mindset. When you condition your mind for yourself, that's the foundation to be successful. That right there will hold you forever, because you could be successful, but when you get that mansion or that nice car or all these other things, the person that's going to be with you there is you. So if you don't like yourself now, you need to start loving yourself now, so that when you are successful, you can enjoy that success.
Yep. And just be able to be grateful for it, gracious with yourself through it, all of the different things. You have to be able to accept yourself in all forms and be able to, love yourself into who you want to be, so that when you get there, you're not still in this place of, well, I need to do more, or, well, you're just not satisfied. And you can find satisfaction, but still work towards other things. And I think that's just really important for everyone to really know, is that, self-love comes in so many different forms, but self-acceptance is huge. And it's probably the hardest thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
But it's so worth it once you get there.
Yeah.
Because you're giving yourself grace. You're giving yourself the opportunity to mess up. You're giving yourself the opportunity to laugh at yourself. You're giving the opportunity to just be. And I think a lot of us don't give ourselves permission to do that. And we need to.
No, I love that you say that. And this conversation is just awesome. And everybody that is listening, I really hope that you guys are getting something from this, because I'm learning myself. And is the permission part is what got me, because so much is when we get older, right? We try to get things done, and we try to be more responsible and accountable and stuff, but we then have to realize that we still have our inner child in us. We still need to have fun. We still need things that make us happy and stuff. Like, whatever that is for you, you had to ask yourself that. What is going to make me happy today? Or what is that first thing that I can do so that I can at least find out what makes me happy? Who am I?
Right.
What is the people that are around me? It doesn't make me who I am. They remind me of who I am. Right? It's about, there you go, right? And it's kind of just asking yourself that question. Like, what is it that I want to do for my life? What does success look like? Okay, well, how do I feel right now? And that's giving yourself the permission. When you ask yourself a question, I'm permitting myself to answer it. And then from there, you know, you can go full throttle with efficiency. Because if you just go without knowing, then when you go in there and then you don't know why something happened, well, you went in there with not knowing. Right. You know, so you have to have some form of intentionality to when you do things, right? With yourself, right? And that comes a lot. And like you said, it is hard. The accepting part is the biggest thing. You can love yourself, but you also have to accept yourself, which I love that you say, because there's a lot of things that we can love about ourselves, but there could be a lot of things that we don't like to accept about ourselves. Exactly. And when you do that, it's able to understand, oh, this is just me. And I only want to be around people that love me, respect me, and accept me for who I am and not for what other people want me to be.
And when your inner child.
Exactly.
Your inner child needs that.
Yeah, and that's everything.
It is. And honestly, when it comes to the one thing that I always love to stand by is that the questions that you ask yourself inform the vision that you build for yourself. You know, like if you're not asking big enough questions, if you're not asking yourself bold enough questions, deep enough questions, you aren't going to get to that vision of who you are, or that understanding of who you are, and that vision for who you want to be. You're not going to be able to do either of those things if you're not really digging deep into what brings that out in you, you know? And that's why a lot of people, including myself, get like, you know, therapy and, you know, promote therapy. You know, sometimes it's really nice having someone who's outside of your circle, being able to, like, you know, ask you more about yourself, to dig deeper into yourself so that you can get a firmer understanding of who you are, and, you know, just being able to chart a path to who you want to be. And of course you have a mixture of mentors and coaches and things like that who can also ask you those poignant questions to get you going. But again, what are those questions that are allowing you to answer so that you can be able to build the vision that you see for yourself, or get to know yourself as you are right now, so you can accept yourself as you are right now. Yeah. So
I love that. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely being mindful too with the mentors and coaches. Let them also be a representative of that person you want to be. Yes. And that's where the inspiration comes from. Always look for a mentor, and a mentor could be in anybody, right? It could be mom, dad, it could be family, it could be friends, right? What is something that you can look into someone that is close to you in any form of way that you could get inspired from? Oh, this person, very motivated, right? Or this person is always happy, or this one is always laughing, or this one's always making jokes, or this one's always very calm, or this one's very reserved. And what can you grab from that, right? And understand that, what is that going to do to me? And is that going to take me to exactly of who I want to be, right? So I always try to get inspiration from when I listen to podcasts as well, from the mindset that people say to themselves, and just about how they carry themselves, right? We always have to look and see and be like, okay, this is maybe something I want to improvise, right? But yeah, enough said.
Right, that's it.
Yeah, no, you said a lot of valid things to just being successful, right? And it all goes back to mindset. It all goes to community. It all comes with believing in yourself, right? It comes with the understanding of that and just being grateful for that, right? Being able to say you're here, and even everybody that's listening, you're listening because you want to grow. You want to understand, and right there, that mindset right there alone should be grateful, because no matter what, you being grateful is the milestone that's gonna get you miles, right? Because when you're grateful for what you have, then you'll be more grateful for what you get.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so
gratitude is a muscle.
Yeah, right? It's an exercise. You gotta keep doing it. The more you
exercise it, the more you can do it, and the stronger it gets.
Right.
The more you get. So yeah,
I love that. Yes. Oh my God, Nikai Fondon. Yes, I am so grateful that you was here, and the conversation. Everybody, if you guys were listening, let me know down below what was something that struck out to you. Right, let me know something that was giving you the attention to listen more, to stop what you were doing if you was listening, or anything like that, I want you to be able to let me know if it's down below on YouTube, if it's on Instagram, if it's on Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, let me know. Make sure you follow us on your favorite podcast platform. And until next time, you guys be easy. Peace.